Along San Diego's working waterfront, maritime businesses are engaged in the important work of building, maintaining, and repairing U.S. Navy ships and other vessels. One important aspect of this work is applying the paints or marine coatings that protect these ships from the harsh saltwater environment and prevent corrosion and damage to the ship's hull. While marine coating is a very important aspect of the shipbuilding and repair process, applying these products can result in the release of hazardous air pollutants and volatile organic compounds, or VOCs. To protect San Diego's air quality, the San Diego Air Pollution Control District, or district, has established specific rules and regulations designed to reduce and control air emissions from marine coating activities. In most cases, the district requires facilities who apply marine coatings to obtain an air pollution control permit. If your company conducts marine coating operations, it is important that painters and other employees involved in these activities have a good understanding of the rules, regulations, and permit conditions that apply to their work. This video is designed to provide a basic introduction to the marine coating requirements, including compliance tips for painters and other workers at the Deckplate. Following these compliance tips will help you to protect the environment and to prevent fines and penalties associated with non-compliance. The first compliance tip is, always use the right paint for the job. Before you start a marine coating job, it is important to check with your supervisor to make sure you will be using the correct paints and solvents for the job. Each marine coating job has been carefully planned to ensure that the paints used will meet the quality and durability needs for the job. Also, each product has been carefully evaluated to make sure that it meets strict environmental requirements. Therefore, in order to stay in compliance with the environmental requirements and avoid costly rework, you must follow these guidelines. Use only the paints and solvents provided by your supervisor for that specific job. Paint only the areas described in your scope of work. Do not use the paints approved for one area of the vessel and another area of the vessel unless the paint has also been approved for that area. This is because some paints are approved for use only in specific areas, such as paint to denote special safety markings. Never use leftover marine coating products to paint other items, such as toolboxes, pier-side buildings, or structures. This is because many paints and solvents that are acceptable to use on ships would be non-compliant if used on other surfaces. The second compliance tip is, always use paints the right way. As you begin your job, there are a number of other steps you must take to ensure the quality of your work and to stay in compliance with APCD rules. Always mix, handle, and apply paint according to manufacturer's instructions, and plan your job carefully to prevent waste caused by overmixing or exceeding pot life. Follow the instructions on the manufacturer's product data sheet, including those related to mix ratio and surface preparation. With multi-component products, it is especially important never to alter or change the mix ratio. Also, the addition of solvents to paints, or thinning, is strictly prohibited because it increases the amount of volatile organic compounds, or VOCs, emitted from the painting process. Another practice that is required to prevent the release of VOCs is keeping paint containers closed at all times when not adding or removing material. Remember, you must close or seal containers anytime you leave the work area for a break, meal times, or to attend other tasks. The third compliance tip is, always use solvents the right way. In the marine coating process, solvents can be used to prepare a surface for painting or to clean the equipment used to apply the paint. Under district rules, these products are regulated differently. Therefore, it is very important to understand that surface preparation and equipment cleaning solvents may not be interchangeable between these two uses. Some solvents can only be used for equipment cleaning, while others may only be used for surface preparation. Before you use any solvent, check with your supervisor to be sure you understand how to use these products correctly. If you are using solvents for surface preparation, such as hull wipe down before painting, you must follow these work practices. Use only those solvents that have been approved for surface preparation. If you transfer the solvent to another container, you must label the new container with product information so that the contents are correctly identified. Rags which will be used many times during the same day should be kept in a plastic bag or other closed container between uses to prevent release of VOCs. If you are using solvents for cleaning of equipment such as paint guns, nozzles, or hoses, you must follow these work practices. You must only use those solvents that have been approved for equipment cleaning. With certain products, you will also need to use enclosed cleaning methods to minimize release of VOCs. These methods include soaking parts in a closed solvent container, using an enclosed gun washer or other method that totally encloses the part being cleaned, and when flushing sprayer lines, using lids with drop tube openings or other methods to minimize evaporation of solvent while flushing. Compliance tip 4 is always handle waste the right way. At the end of each job and at the end of your workday, you will need to get rid of any waste paints, solvents, and paint-soaked rags or brushes, and any other hazardous waste generated by your work. To properly dispose of these materials, they must be deposited into drums or other containers identified for disposal of hazardous waste. Hazardous waste may never be disposed of in the trash. After depositing waste into the designated waste containers, be sure that the lid is closed and secured. If liquid transfer funnels are used, be sure to close and latch the funnel after each use, or remove the funnel and close the bung. District rules and permits require each company applying marine coatings to keep accurate records of the paints and solvents used in marine coating processes. Therefore, our last compliance tip is always write it down. While this video does not provide in-depth coverage on the topic of record keeping, it is important that you are familiar with your company's record-keeping procedures and that you follow these procedures every time you use paints or solvents. These records are required and they must clearly identify the amount and type of each product you have used and must be readily available in the event of a compliance inspection. To demonstrate compliance, your company should also be prepared to make product data or material safety data sheets available when requested. Marine coating contractors planning to work at a San Diego County shipyard, boatyard, repair yard, naval installation, or other host facility should also be aware that each of these facilities may have additional permit conditions or facility rules beyond what is described in this video. Painting and preservation work is a vital part of keeping military, commercial, and private vessels afloat. As you go about your daily work, remember the compliance tips presented in this video to ensure that you perform your work in compliance with the applicable environmental laws and permit requirements. Always use the right paint for the job, use paints the right way, use solvents the right way, handle waste the right way, write it down. Remember, doing things the right way helps to protect the environment and to prevent fines and penalties associated with non-compliance. For more information about the rules and permit requirements that apply to marine coating activities in San Diego County, please contact the San Diego Air Pollution Control District's Small Business Assistance Program at 858-586-2656.